Hello there everyone, and welcome to my tutorial on the startup procedure for the AV-8B Harrier II Night Attack, or N/A. As I mentioned in my older tutorial video for this, I said I would go back through and remake these as the aircraft became more feature complete. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Now the startup procedure for this aircraft has not changed much from when the aircraft came out. The big difference is in how the INS system is aligned, which we will be going over, of course, a little bit later, towards the more towards the end of the video. For those of you who already know how to start up this aircraft but want to know how the INS alignment system works, go ahead and skip on through to the timestamp you should be seeing on your screen right now, or check down in the description for a timestamp link that will lead you to that part of the video. For those of you who are new to the aircraft, of course, let's go ahead and get started. So, first things first, we're going to look down here to the back left of the aircraft, so more towards the back of the aircraft. You will see these two switches here, the DESC switch, go ahead and flip that on. The fuel cutoff or shut-off lever, we'll flip that on. Moving forward from there, we're going to go ahead and flip on the oxygen. You can come back and do this one a little bit later, but I like to do it just it makes it a little bit easier. Of course, moving forward from there, we have the external lights. We're going to go ahead and flip on the formation lights, the position lights, anti-collision, and auxiliary lights. Of course, from there, if we go up to the side of the aircraft here, this is your external light switch. We'll go ahead and flip it to normal. So right-click on it twice to flip it to normal. Back down towards the panels here, we're going to come up to the fuel selection of this panel, and we're going to flip on the left and right fuel pumps, set those to normal. Further forward, we're going to come up here. We're going to check and make sure that all these switches are forward. The alt hold is off, as well as the aircraft flight controller, and the Q fuel is flipped forward. From there, we're going to make sure that we can flip on the taxi lights, and we just want to make sure that the RSP yaw trim switch is set to on. Moving up from there, we have our anti-skid. If you are on the ground, of course, you'll want to set nose wheel steering on. If you're on the carrier, oh no, I'm sorry. If we were on the carrier, we would want to switch it to NWS. Since we're on the ground, we're going to go ahead and flip this up to on. So anti-skid is on. Next, we'll come up here and we'll flip on the flaps to the on position. From there, we can come up here. We can we'll skip this step for now. Next, we'll come over here to this side of the aircraft, so the right side. Towards the back, you'll see this lever here. This is your ground safety lever. This is for the ejection seat. We're going to go ahead and flip that down. Moving up from there, if it was night, we can turn on some of these lights, but we don't have to worry about that right now until we get battery power into the aircraft, so we won't see any of that. Moving forward, we're going to come up here to the VHF/U, and we're going to switch this to TR plus ground, which is transmit, receive, plus ground, or transmit, whichever one you prefer. So let's go ahead and get some battery power going. So we're going to come up here to the battery on the right side, far right, more towards the front of the aircraft. Flip that on, and you'll see all the gauges start kicking on. We'll move back up to the front of the aircraft again, and we'll pull the brightness up on this, brightness up on the left and right multi-display. Come down here, and we'll pull the brightness up as well on the HUD, as you'll see here. And of course, we'll turn on the radios. Turn up the volumes. Next, we can come over here and we'll turn the volume up for the RWR. The decoy dispenser, we'll set that to up. ECM, we'll leave that as it. Now, we are going to switch on some... we don't have to worry about this now, but I'm going to go ahead and jump to the step. We're going to switch on to the EHSD, which is your flight plan, as well as the engine. That's just for my own personal preference. Next, we're going to come back down to where we had battery, and we'll switch on. We'll do the engine start. Of course, everything's going to start beeping. Go ahead and click the master caution warning, and you should hear the aircraft spooling up right now. Once the RPMs reach 92, which is what we're waiting for here. Once it reaches 92%, we can go ahead and move our throttle forward, and the aircraft is now spooling up, as you can see and hear. We're going to go ahead and click on the canopy levers here, which will close the canopy and lock it for us. And now the aircraft is set and pretty much ready to go. But of course, as you can see here, we have no HUD, and that is because we have to do the INS alignments. Due to a past bug, and with the complexity of this INS alignment system, Razbam has been kind enough to give us some special options. So if you go to your main menu, click on your option cog here, go over to the special tab, click on AV8B in A, your Harrier, and down here, second option, you'll see INS default alignment. In this video, we will be going over the unaligned option, but you do have also saved heading option. This is going to be similar to most other aircraft in that you will switch the INS switch over to either C or ground, let it run through its INS alignment, and then once it's done, switch over to the IFA option, or pre-align, which would have been how it was done before, where you could just automatically switch over to IFA. But of course, we will be going over the unaligned, so we can click that, hit OK, and you're set and good to go. Now let's go ahead and get into the INS alignment system. Now this is for the unalign special option that is in the option page. You should have seen that prior to coming back here. So this aircraft is quite complex when it comes to the INS alignment system, and you guys will see that here. So first things first, we'll come down here, we'll move the flight control stick out of the way, and we want to set the alignment to either C or ground. Of course, we're not on if you're on a aircraft carrier, the Tarawa, for instance, and I'll show you how to do that because the ground and C alignment's a little different. But if we were on the Tarawa, we would set to C and then go through the process of aligning on C. But of course, since we're on an airfield, we're going to switch it over to ground. And now, if you'll notice, it says quality, ATT, no OK, time is 000, and it's kind of splashing across the screen. This is where the complexity of the AV8 Harrier INS system comes into play. So what we have to do is we gotta go to the data, and as you can see here, there is no data on this aircraft. So first things first, we'll hit AC. This will pull up the aircraft position, so we can set the position for the aircraft. Yes, you have to set the position for the aircraft. In order to do that, of course, if you hit F10, put your mouse cursor over your aircraft, and up on the top left, you can see your coordinates there. Now we have to go ahead and enter our position. So make sure that POS, or position, is selected with the two colons there, or you can select that. Hang on just a second. If it goes away, just go ahead and click on AC again, and you'll be set to good to go. So now we have to enter our aircraft's position. So in order to do that, we'll do north 420620. Enter. And as you can see here, it'll update here as well as updating here. Next, we have to enter, of course, our other coordinate. So we'll click POS again, hit east, or click 6 for east, 0403400. Now I must preference, do not forget to put the 0 in front of your east or west coordinates, because this uses it uses degrees, minutes, seconds, and it uses I forget what it's called for longitude. But it requires a third digit on the longitude's degrees, so you have to put a 0. You have to remember to put a 0 in front of it. Of course, hit enter, and it will update as well. Next, we have one of the more trickier things to find, and that is we have to put in the MVAR, or the magnetic variations. This one's, like I said, is a bit tricky to find. For those, if you guys know how to find it, do let me know, because I don't know. Right now, the only things I kind of have are approximates, which you should see on the screen right now for each one of the maps. Of course, we are on Caucasus, so we're going to do east, so 6, and then we do 6.0, because it's plus 6 degrees, and hit enter. Of course, it won't show up here, but it is set. As you can see, we have a countdown timer going right now, or the timer is going. This will take a few minutes, as you guys should know, with the alignment process. It does take a few moments. After about a minute, you should see about a minute or two, the quality should change from ATT not okay to a countdown number as it goes through the INS process. So of course we're going to go ahead and skip that until we get to the final bit of it. All right, now we're there. As you can see, quality is now 0.7 and it says okay. You can now switch it over to either nav or IFA, which is in-flight assistant with GPS. And that is the INS process. Let's go ahead and jump over to how to do the process if you were on the TARWA, for instance. Now, as I mentioned before, sea alignment is a bit different than ground alignment for the INS system. Mainly because we are on a moving ship, so we're not always in the same spot, so we cannot use a longitude-latitude system. So in order to do a alignment while on the sea or on the TARWA, we need to connect to the TARWA's INS system. So in order to do that, we'll go ahead and hit the slash key, click ground crew, and request ground power. Select on. Chief will put on the ground power. And we should see up here on the top right, it should say SINS data cable connected. So we are now connected to the TARWA's INS system. So now we can come down here, move the flight stick out of the way, flip over to C, and as you can see here, the timer is already going. And after a minute, it should switch up from quality over to the numbers. As you can see there, they switched up. So we are now counting down the timer as well as the HUD is back up. Once it's run through its INS alignment system, we'll get the OK over here where it says heading, and we'll have 0.7 like with the ground. We'll switch over to either nav or IFA and then disconnect ground power, and you're ready and set to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of this, don't forget to subscribe. If you liked it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and we'll catch you all next time.